Hey everybody, welcome into Out of Rhythm or Out of Rhythm Fantasy Studios. I'm your host, Jamie from Out of Rhythm Fan. I got my co-host Eli at Eli Appletoff on X. Welcome in everybody. It's Wednesday. Oh, it's Booty Wednesday. It's a Booty Wednesday.
Yeah. Yeah. Hump day.
Did you find any booty today?
I did not. But
holy fucking shit!
That's impressive. No.
I haven't had time. I got off work and was making the that's right. Making a couple graphics for the show here and been a long day, but we're back, tag team, back again. Whoop, there it is. We're back.
Yes, it is.
I'm excited to talk some, maybe a little bit of recap, some of the players that hit in week 4, maybe if you won any money from DFS, talk a little, week 5, we've got a bunch of goodies coming up. Georgia, Alabama. Some might still call it a big game. I want to, it's a measuring stick game for Illinois. They big win over Nebraska last Friday, so we'll see where Illinois stacks up. Got a tough game on the road against Penn State, so I got a couple goodies. You know what? Oh, Pete, yeah, you are just in time, big boy. Just started. we just started the oven. Okay, we're preheating. Go Big Red. Yeah. Oh, big D. Oh man, stars are out tonight. Goddamn.
I told you we got to get rolling.
I know.
Hell.
But yeah, Discord, Instagram, all the usual spots. You can find us putting our, the X. Here's some stuff that we, our thoughts on games, our thoughts on life. So whatever you want to know, we're pretty open about that. Yeah, you should be excited. Spotify, YouTube, Jay's always got a great YouTube short playlist, great playlist of all the previous content, including the first 4 weeks of college, just about. I forget which week we started this, but I think there was 1 week we missed. But we've been pretty current on the college stuff.
Yeah, pretty much been starting the second week, so we missed the first week intentionally, but we weren't sure what we were trying to do. So I'm like, second week kind of came along, but yeah, it's kind of all coming together. So Eli will give you so pretty much what's on detail. We'll hit a few recaps on the games, and then Eli and I will give you some squad blitz, and we'll probably talk about our matchup. Ooh, and then he's got some players.
You bastard! Put me to just put me to bed. I'm at 1-3
now. Eli will give you his week 5 players to watch. I'll give you some 4 notable games to watch for this weekend too as well. And Eli's got I don't have a prop bet, but I might post that later on X. So I was running out of time. I figured I'd put up my squat blitz team.
Ooh.
So yep, and then we'll have our waivers like normal. So yes. But I might, I'll put my little 2 cents in on his props, see if they're good or bad. We'll kind of go along that line. So other than that, that's what is in store for today. So if you guys have any comments or you want to jump in, just talk about anything, the live chat is open. So feel free to jump in, talk with us, and if you like or dislike, hey, put it out there, man. We'll talk about it.
Yeah. Got a couple comments there from some buddies of ours, but spread the gospel, share the good word. Out of Rhythm has got all your fantasy needs covered. Jay was saying that too. We cover DFS on this show, a little bit of that, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Cover some waivers. We do players to watch. Just it's not even really a fantasy thing. I posted the graphic for week 4 last week on X. I think
maybe put some contents to a graphic instead of just posting it.
Can't talk up squad blitz enough. I've been loving that so far. I made a couple transfers, so I'll show my team for week 5 coming up. So
I'll show you my team too as well, big boy.
Oh, well, I'm just here so I don't get fined. What are you, Marshawn Lynch?
But yeah, just make sure you guys follow.
Baseball is just about done. Baseball is just about done. So Donovan's schedule finally freed up, I guess.
Your cheap ass brother, your brother that lives near us, beat me this last
Oh
weekend.
God!
I was pissed. I
was
was up on him. And I'm like, what? So yeah, so I'm fighting for third place, but I still got a couple championships. On a different profile, I got a couple championships, and when my main profile, I got at least one championship. I got beat in our points league. Donovan's actually in that league too, so I got hammered. So yeah, it's kind of like, yeah, Donovan, I know baseball's not over. We got dynasty, so I'm actually in a dynasty league with Donovan.
It's never over.
yeah, it's never over. That's for sure. But yeah, I know. I'll hit some waivers. There's some guys we'll talk about waivers too as well. So let's they make sure you follow all of our stuff. Give us a like, subscribe, and the links are in the description down there too as well. So but yeah, other than that, a couple games. So Eli, what games do you want to kind of hit up here that you kind of stood out to you for just like a quick recap for week 4?
First one, I think it's going to be obvious, and you called it. I was wrong. I thought Oklahoma might pull the upset, but Tennessee handled them pretty good.
You mean Utah? You mean Utah and Oklahoma?
No, it was Tennessee and Oklahoma.
Oh, I thought you were talking. Oh, never mind. I thought you were talking about the.
No. Oh no, we can talk about Utah and Oklahoma State too. But yeah, well, what'd you think about Nico and Tennessee? Like they're rolling, man. I don't know. They might be a natty contender. I didn't think so. I thought they might be a fringe playoff team, but I mean they can go with anybody. I mean they're dangerous.
I didn't really get a chance to really watch that game because I was actually kind of watching a couple other games.
I think they were done. I watched Jay. I probably watched 2.5 to 3 of the quarters. So I missed a lot of the middle of the second quarter. It's like the third, beginning of the third quarter. But other than that, I watched the whole game. Like Tennessee was dominant on both sides. Like it's not just Samson. It's not just Nico on the offense. I mean, the defense they got a great pass rusher. I mean, the whole team. I mean, like OU is going to be probably what a 9-win team, at least 8-9-win team. I mean, this is a really quality team, and they couldn't even hold a candle to Tennessee. So I want to see Tennessee and the big boys. That's what I want to. I'm dying for some Georgia Tennessee or some Alabama Tennessee. Like, we'll see what happens. Because I mean, the last few years, I mean, they've been, Tennessee's been up here. I mean, with Josh Heupel the last few years, like they've been a fringe top 10 team, but they didn't have the firepower to overtake a Georgia or an Alabama. I think this might be the year. At least one of them, at least jump Alabama, because I think Georgia's going to beat Alabama this weekend. But Tennessee looked really good. Is there a game? I don't know. We can get into Utah, Oklahoma State if you want. But Oklahoma State, they are who we thought they were. Where's that Denny Green clip? Damn it, we are who they thought they were. They are who they thought we were. Cam Rising didn't even play. They still won.
We have the MILF Hunter 2 that came in and actually played that game. So I guess the luck of the the MILF Hunter just kind of helped Utah get by, and I'm just like, what? So I don't know. I quite honestly, I did actually, because overall Utah they might be a okay team, but overall they don't really get, like, to me, they don't have like the offensive power. They don't. I mean, like, far as the pass game, the wide receivers they really don't have like a true number one guy there to really open up the field or anything like that. So a lot of them, they're just, it's mostly just ground and pound really. So they really, so for me, so I was actually kind of surprised. I was like, it's like, what the hell, dude? So for me, I thought it was gonna be easy enough for the Cowboys to actually just run over the Ute. So I, with Ollie and the weapons that they have, I was like, dude, they're getting shut out. I was like, dude, there's no way in the hell. I actually, on some of my props, I was pissed because Ollie didn't even hit his props. So I'm like, what the hell? So I was pretty pissed about that. So Yeah,
It's
that
just
for that.
coaching. It has nothing to do with players because we know Oklahoma State has better skill position guys. They might even have Bowman might even be a better quarterback than Cam Rising. I mean they beat them all around, especially on the offense. But it's just Mike Gundy. He's 40. He's a man.
Well,
Like
I guess you.
not that, I mean, they're just not. Oklahoma State is just never that well coached. They aren't. They're always respectable, like year in, year out. But they can't win a big game. They just can't. They're inept, and I think they're gonna have issues again this weekend with Kansas State. I know K State just lost to BYU, but they'll have their hands full there. Oklahoma State might drop 2 in a row. I mean, it could get ugly. But all he needs to get back on track. I know he kind of.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, if you think about it, I mean, they were playing a little bit smaller team. This was a ranked game, and they should have been able to pass through the Utes, and they couldn't get anything going. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Their offensive line should have been able to busting up holes and whatnot, and that was not even the case. So that kind of so I put a little bad taste in my mouth a little bit. But no, I ended up watching. I was kind of in tune with the Colorado game, so I was kind of watching that a little bit last. I caught the last little bit of that Baylor game, so I was like, dude, no way, it was just kind of a shootout. But the Buffs actually skipped away with a win, so I was like, dude, that was totally, the game was nuts. The guy fumbled out the ball out of bounds, and next thing you know, the whole crowd's just trampling the fields. I was like, what? No way, the game's not even over with, and everybody's just running on the field. It was just plain nuts. I was like, Jesus Christ. But they ended up winning anyways, either way. I mean, it was pretty much a ball out of the end zone, touchback, and game over with.
Big 12 had they had a bunch of good games. I mean, we saw BYU has kind of come out of nowhere. BYU's 4-0, and that they've been, we'll see where they can go. But I mean, they kind of threw their hat in the ring, like, hey, we might be a conference contender, especially if Cam Rising, if this is going to be a season long thing, because Utah's not going to be able to get away with that every week. You'd think. Oklahoma State's got flaws, K-State's got flaws, Arizona's got flaws, like all the shit. Colorado's not even out of it. Like Dion and Colorado, they're 3-1. They're not dead yet. So I think Big 12 is wide open. So it'll be interesting.
I believe so. I was actually, because I did a little BYU I did a little BYU, like how many games they win and lost, and I had that on X, and I actually had them losing to Kansas State, and I was like, what? I was kind of watching a little bit of that game too, and I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, BYU.
They beat, I mean, they stomped them. I mean, it wasn't even close. Like just mud stomped them. So I know that was a home game for BYU, but yeah, we'll see where they can go. I get Michigan, USC. Did you catch any of that?
No, I didn't really catch any of that one. I mean, I think I kind of did a little bit, but we'll get into that a little bit later too.
Here's a review. Here's a quick review for everybody. Lots of Michigan running, and it looked like a Jim Harbaugh coach.
Sweet Jesus!
Sweet Jesus, they couldn't stop running the ball. I mean, it's like with McCarthy last year, where he had all those games where he didn't even throw 100 yards and they won. Like it was one of those kind of games. Like they're just going to rely on Mullings to be the bell cow, and so yeah, I mean, Michigan's still, I don't know. I don't buy a whole season of this, especially against, Penn State, Ohio State, teams like that. I mean, they're gonna be exposed. But I mean, Michigan easily win 9 games. Get to 9. But Michigan looked good. USC, I didn't expect that much from them coming into the year, but Miller Moss was kind of shut down a little bit, and so they were exploding the first couple weeks against lesser competition. But we'll see where USC goes from here.
Yeah. The game I was kind of watching or had my eye on was the South Florida and Miami game. I was kind of fine tuning that just because of some of my props.
Oh yeah, yeah. I was looking at the odds makers, and this is. I wish we had like a rewind button from like a month ago or whenever that was. I made that prediction. I'm looking more right by the week. Cam Ward will win the Heisman. Okay, there's no doubt even if Miami loses a game or two, like he's gonna win the Heisman. I mean, it's you might as well just engrave his name now. And I called this shit. I said coming over, he didn't have these kind of weapons at Washington State. Like South Florida. I mean, South Florida is not even that bad, and nobody's got an answer for Cam Ward and for Miami right now. Like they're the class of the ACC, absolutely. And I'd love to see. I mean, we're not going to get it right now, but I would love to see where Miami stacks up. I'd love to see like a Miami Georgia game right now, or a Miami Texas game, just to see where the Hurricanes stack up. Because Cam is just unbelievable. I think he's officially the best Cam now. I think he passed Cam. He passed Cam Jordan, the pass rusher from the Saints. He's the best Cam.
Yeah, for sure. Other than that, one more game, I think it was JMU and UNC. Did you see any of that one?
Wait, did James Madison pull the upset?
Ding, ding, ding.
Jesus, what the? Mac Brown. I have my Blacklist segment, and I'm going to do another guy tonight. It's not racist. It's not racist, because it's a Blacklist. Well, Riley Leonard might be next. Okay, he's white. I'm doing great. But
it was.
I have my Blacklist. UNC might be on my Blacklist coming up next week. I might just do a whole damn team and not just an individual player. Because what a disgrace. How are you? James Madison's still an FCS team, aren't they?
No, they are a Sun Belt team.
Okay, they did move up. See, I mean, it's been changing so much the past couple of years. I remember when they were an FCS team, but
I think they moved.
They're irrelevant. Like North Carolina right now is irrelevant. That we don't even. I wasn't even paying attention to that. I did. A lot of these unranked games, it's kind of unless you're really digging into them deep or you see them on TV. A lot of these unranked games, you're just they kind of just pass by in the scroll or something. Like UNC is just, and that's a sad state. And Jay's a fan. Like, I mean, if you were to put a gun to his head, who's his team? He'd say UNC. It's a
right
yep, the Tar Heel right there. It's a disgrace. Like, Clemson's kind of rebounded a little bit. Like Clemson will have a respectable year for sure. We know Miami's in the class of just about anybody. Florida State's still a joke. But UNC was supposed to be probably maybe the fourth, fifth best team in this conference coming into the year, and they're just a joke right now.
They had issues with the quarterback. That's some of it right now,
And Jay, Omarion Hampton, I have Omarion Hampton as a player to watch for Week 5. I mean, he's a stud back. I mean, he's not having
he was having
a down year. So they have a legit NFL. I mean, they have a legit NFL running back, even if he's a mid-late round guy. I mean, at least a mid-round guy like Hampton's going to be an NFL running back. So it's like what are the excuses? Quarterback for sure. But that's your job. They don't have a budget at North Carolina. I'm like, Michael Jordan can't chip in. You know what I mean? Like he's like he's like Phil Knight with Nike with Oregon. Like, why the fuck can't MJ chip in for UNC to go and get a quarterback? Like they should have put in there. I mean, they should have tried to get Will Howard. They should have tried to get a Cam Ward. They should have put their hat in the ring, and they couldn't land any of these guys.
Hell, well, it sucks for them. It sucks for them because the UNLV guy just redshirted and he said, "Bon voyage, see you later." After they go 4-0. That's some headline news. I mean, they had two people right out like, "Sorry, I'm done. I ain't playing for the team anymore." They're transferring out, and it's like, damn, dude.
Mac Brown. Yeah, I've got a whole team in mind and a quarterback in mind for my Blacklist for next week. So who's going to have the worst week? Because I already got it. Yeah, I already got the graphic all queued up. I'm ready to lay the smack.
All right. So those are some of the recaps of the week. I mean Hampton, he kind of struggled at first, but then he started trucking, dude. I mean, he had over 100 and 113, 119 some odd yards. So I mean, he came back and had a great 100-yard game. So with that, that was some nice fantasy points because I know I have him in the league, so that helped me out quite a bit too as well. So that helped out quite a bit. So I'm happy about that.
Yeah. Woo.
All right. Where are we heading, boy? Where are we heading?
Gold star for Week 4. We're going to wrap up Week 4 here, and then we're going to get on to I guess I got to call out somebody too. And then we'll get into waivers and players, so, all our stuff for Squad Blitz, all our good stuff for week 5 coming up. So we're gonna wrap up week 4 here. Excuse me, I gotta cough up the bullshit. Blake Horvath, the Navy, yes sir. Navy representing fucking and they didn't just beat like an FCS team or some bullshit like Sun Belt team. No offense, James Madison, but like it's not some rando ass team. Like Memphis is respectable. They came in 3-0, and this guy torched them. As much as a Navy quarterback, Navy quarterback is never. I mean, they run like the wishbone offense. I mean, there's never gonna be a Navy quarterback that has like 450 yards, 5 touchdowns, 87 yards rushing, a touchdown. Like that's just not gonna happen. That's not the kind of offense they've ever run. But still, I mean, for a Navy quarterback, almost 200 yards passing, over 200 yards rushing, just ridiculous. 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, dude, five, yeah, 6 touchdowns, and Jesus Christ, it's kind of it was funny because when I was actually doing my graphics for like, this
they're
fancy
3-0. Navy's 3-0, man. I mean, I know they're
Air Force
kind of
is
an
3-0 too.
Small team, but it's it's hard to get recruits to go to the military. But like Navy might maybe 8-4 this year. Horvath's a good quarterback.
Yeah, they're in the AAC, aren't they?
It's either independent or AAC, one or the other. I still remember when they were them, Notre Dame, BYU used to be an independent back in the day. Like there was, but yeah, have you come across Horvath? I know he's going to be on our waivers this week. I thought I'd give him some love. I try to find guys when I do my gold star. I put it right up on the fridge. Right center. I got just right around the corner there. When I stick the gold star up there, I'm trying to find players that might not get the national love. We know the TV. It's going to be the and we love him too. Jackson Dart. Now Cam Ward. I mean, we know the big time players they're going to get the love. Judkins, the running back from Ohio State, guys like that are going to get national love. Blake Horvath, nobody's talking about him, and I just think that especially this game. I mean, that should open some eyes. He's not an NFL. I don't think he's going to end up, being a prospect for the NFL, but, and he's only in his second year starting, but that could always change. You never know. But as of now, I don't see that in his future, but just a damn good game and a damn good season so far for Navy. I thought I'd give him a shout out. I got 7 rushing touchdowns and they're all in the last 2 games. The first game of the year they won, but it was kind of a stinker. He didn't do much. The last 2 games, he's had almost all of his rushing yards, all of his passing touchdowns, and all of his rushing touchdowns. So he's had 7 rushing touchdowns the last 2 games. It's like this guy's a quarterback.
121 fantasy points, and right now he actually leads the QBs in the AAC conference right now. And
yeah. He's leading the conference, and he's got to be maybe top 20, top 25 nationally.
He's out playing Byram Brown, which is nuts. Jesus.
Yeah,
I can't believe that's happening.
And we're gonna get to him in the waivers, so it's kind of a twofold. A lot of these players I kind of work in later in the show too. So Horvath, be on the lookout for him. Any more thoughts? Or and you guys want to comment? There you go, Big D. You can just talk about all my amazing pickups in your leagues. Did you pick him up, D? Because if you did,
well, he picked up someone from our waivers. I'll tell you later.
He's goddamn Nostradamus. He beat us to the punch. He knew this was coming. We did, we weren't messaging him on the side like, hey man, we're gonna talk about Blake Horvath tonight. Donovan just knows. Donovan's a sharp tool in the toolbox. He knows. Thought I'd give Horvath some love. I did. And Jay, we'll probably talk about him maybe another 20 minutes when we do waivers. Now, the negative. Now we got to get into something bad, real bad. I started this segment last week, and it came off an offhanded thing we were talking about on Messenger. 2 thumbs down. It was an offhanded comment on Messenger we were talking about like this person's blacklisted for their behavior, blah, blah, blah. And it was kind of a running joke. And now we use it as a bit on the show. Last week it was DJU, and he deserved it. That man deserves it. if they had an Arch Manning, if they had even the kid from Florida, if they had some kind of young phenom, some freshman, redshirt freshman guy, you could bet your ass DJU would be benched right now. Jalon Daniels is right in that same mix. Somehow, this guy is still the 14th ranked on Draft Buzz. He's still the 14th ranked NFL quarterback prospect. I don't know how that's possible, but he is. Maybe they're just thinking about all the potential. We can coach him up. No, you can't. No, I've seen enough of this man. He's going on his 5th year. He can never stay healthy. I don't think he's ever played more than 9 games. So all the year, and we know this guy. I mean, him and Devin Neal. It seems like they've been at Kansas for 20 fucking years. Okay, we know these two guys. Been there forever. Yeah, I think he played 3 games last year. Maybe was it 7 games in 2022? I'm trying to remember.
I'll tell you in a minute here.
Oh yeah, 9 games. That was the most he's ever played. 9 games in 2022. They went 5-4. Actually, he had respectable numbers. Okay, and Devin Neal, that was his first year breaking out. I mean, Kansas was a team on the rise a couple years ago. After 2022, everybody's like, oh, it's a sexy, maybe dark horse Big 12 pick, to win the conference, coming into last year and maybe even this year. Jalon Daniels has just shit the bed the last couple of years. Over 2,000 yards, 18 touchdowns, 425 yards rushing, 7 rushing touchdowns. Yeah, the epitome of a dual threat. He's got a quick release. Like there was a lot of stuff to like, especially if you're looking at the NFL. I mean, he's kind of smaller, he's about 6 foot, 220. So, a little bit of maybe Jalen Hurts, not the quad strength of Jalen Hurts, but similar size to a Jalen Hurts or something. What happened here? Because he was the Dan. I mean, it was him. It was Jaden and Jalen. Those were like a couple years ago. You had which Daniels do you prefer? That was my question after 2022. Is it Jaden or is it Jalen? And right? We know. I mean, Jaden is over there fucking tearing up the Giants and Bengals in the NFL, and Jalen can't throw for more than 200 yards in the game. I mean, he's been awful. He's been awful in 2024. Look at these stats: 56% completion, a little over 600 yards in 4 games, and he started all 4. There haven't been
7 interceptions.
Yeah, 7 interceptions. I think he leads FBS, or he's one of the leaders. With 7
this
picks.
Is the most interceptions he's had since 2020 and 2024.
And
2023. Sorry,
that was like his freshman. I mean, young kid making mistakes, and he played a hell of a lot more snaps than this. I mean, that's just I don't know. I don't know where to go with this. I couldn't believe it because since I started this segment, I knew about DJU. Because I've just been like, Florida State has just made me, I want to throw up my mouth. Watching that Florida State team this year, I don't care if they come back and win 5 games. It doesn't matter. They're junk, and I don't want to see DJU anymore. He's no longer an NFL prospect. He's no longer interesting. He sucks. He needs to be benched. Yeah. Jalon Daniels, in my opinion, he's got a little more NFL, because he's, like I said, he's a freak athlete, but
well, if you can't get anything going, I mean, it's not going to help. It's like, well, he must be the Ty Law of Kansas City then, because Ty Law had some bad vision Monday night, and if he's got to say,
he can't. They're talking about AR5 right now with the Colts, right? That fantasy wise, he's doing well, but like quarterback wise, and the guy he's struggling to complete 55% of his passes. Like this Jalon Daniels, that might have been his watermark. 2 years ago, it's completing 66%. Like he's just not an accurate quarterback. You can blame it on Kansas's scheme or the players, whatever. It's like he's got an NFL running back behind him. So he's got a few players. And Grimm, Luke Grimm, the wide receiver we're going to talk about later, is a pretty good receiver. So he's got a couple players to work with. So you can't blame it all on the cast.
Right. Right now, they NFL Draft Buzz actually has him ranked 14th overall on their standings right now.
Yeah,
and so from the looks of it, I honestly think he should.
This fucking guy is gonna get.
Here's what I think. I don't think he's gonna, with what he's doing right now, is not gonna impress anybody.
No.
What he should do is actually go back for his senior year and ball out and actually maybe be something a first round or second round.
Year? What is he? Cam Rising? What is he gonna come back for a 7th? Might as well at this point. I would if I'm a kid that's probably gonna be an NFL washout or might not get drafted. I'd come back for some of that NIL money because who the hell else is Kansas gonna put out there? I mean, they're obviously Florida State's struggling this year, but Florida State could easily go and get a 4 or 5 star recruit. They could easily go and get a transfer that might actually work. In Alabama, they can bring a transfer guy in like nothing. Look at Ohio State, Will Howard. Miami, Cam Ward. Bigger programs can bring in these guys. Kansas, I get it. They have issues. It's like it's going to be hard to replace Jalon Daniels, but I'm out on the guy. I'm out. If he wants to come back next year, shit the bed again, get that NIL money. More power to him. This is America, but Kansas is irrelevant as long as he's the quarterback. Because they're just watch, dude. They're gonna go 4-8 this year. Gonna miss a bowl game again. Just a joke. That's what I put the little heartbeat there because his pulse is at 0. He's dead. He dead. He dead. Did you want to get into and if you guys have any comments, if you hate Jalon Daniels, if you hate DJU, if you want to request somebody that, I think they've had at least 3 bad games in a row. I've noticed Riley Leonard from Notre Dame, who has been just a complete. I know they're winning games in spite of him, but he's kind of been a shit show at quarterback. Just been awful so far. I think he's got 1 touchdown, 2 picks. Like Riley Leonard is definitely a candidate, especially if they lose this weekend. I think they're playing Louisville. Like if Louisville beats Notre Dame, Riley Leonard is going up on the blacklist. You damn right. And if it's not him, it might be the whole UNC Tar Heels team. So this segment will be back next week. And if you guys have any thoughts, either comment on the show or something might be up on X. Maybe we'll put something up there as well. You want to do some waivers, Jay?
Let's get into it. I actually got to upload my waivers here. I thought I had them uploaded before, but I didn't have the extra page for my waivers and my other games to watch for week 5. So let's get into it. Let's go.
Yeah, well, you're doing that. Yeah, I'm going to do this. I've had enough. I don't want to look at this Jalon Daniels sheet ever again. He's trash. He threw him right there. Kobe, right in the trash. Bye. Excuse me. Blake Horvath, number 1 pickup. Fantrax, we've mentioned this before if it's the first time coming across us. Fantrax, they're a friendlier site than, Yahoo doesn't even offer it, and there's some other places, other platforms for college fantasy, but Fantrax is the one we do together. And yeah, like Jay said, if you're enjoying the content so far, like, subscribe, do all that stuff. It helps the YouTube algorithms because they're corrupt whores. So we need all that. That being said, Blake Horvath, he's on the rise, as he should be. Only 15% owned in Fantrax. Fantrax, they do fantasy NASCAR. And we're not sponsored, so we're not doing a fucking ad here. Like, go, it's none of that stuff. We do, Fantrax just a league we do together. We do a couple, do a dynasty best ball. So in a regular league, we do 3 of them in college. So we use Fantrax, and then we use kind of a happy medium between the leagues. Just I pick out guys that are probably available. So if somebody's like Gio Lopez is number 3, for example, he's probably the most rostered of any of these guys, but I've seen him available in at least 2 of the 3 leagues. So I know Gio is out there as well, but Blake Horvath I know is readily available. So I put him there. Luke Grimm. And things are looking grim for his quarterback. Well, Eli, you just said his quarterback's trash. Well, the few yards that Jalon is getting, a lot of them are going to Luke Grimm because he's their number. He, other than Devin Neal, he's probably their number 2.
Keep going, because Will always finds a way.
EB, baby. You gotta listen to the GOAT. He knows what he's talking about. Luke Grimm, and I'll get Jay's thoughts too. Horvath, obviously, we already talked about. No, don't need to go into that. Luke Grimm, so far this year, 24 grabs, 232 yards, 3 touchdowns. I guess his like big game would have been West Virginia. Would have been the previous game. 6 grabs, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Have you come across him on anything you've been doing or any
Grimm or Lopez?
Oh, go ahead, Jay.
I said Grimm or Lopez.
Oh, Grimm, and then we'll get into Geo.
I don't think I kind of came across him at all. Maybe because it could have been, I was looking at some other guys that maybe had more production or more target wise, more likely. So I didn't really have an opportunity to maybe look into Grimm a little bit or just the Kansas City offense in general. Because I just been kind of all over the place. I'm just kind of looking around and trying to find guys that might be possible and seeing what the target percentages and stuff like that. So Grimm might be a guy who might have just slipped through the thing and made. So you caught him. Hey, if he,
he's in the net. He's on the hook. He's there. Just got to pull him back in the boat. He's only 27% rostered, and I bring this up because it is we know Jalon Daniels struggles, but Devin Neal still having a kind of a down year for him, but still a productive year. Grimm, I would say, is their number one target receiving wise. So anytime you're somebody's number one target in a Big Five at a Big Five school, doesn't really matter. I kick the tires on him, especially bye weeks. A lot of teams have been having bye weeks lately, so it might be a guy to stash on the bench in an emergency. He's readily available. He's available in 3 of the 3 leagues that we do. So I thought,
he looks like he's the main wide receiver one there. So I mean, I guess it all depends. He might be more of a good bye
week fill-in guy.
Bye week fill-in guy more than likely.
That's exactly.
Maybe
I wouldn't start him every week. I mean, I wouldn't have him as your. But if you got a bye, week 5 bye, for example, he might be a guy to slip in there and maybe
be more of a.
Go ahead, Jay.
I was just saying maybe more of a matchup kind of proof kind of guy. Maybe depends on if they're playing a weaker team. Maybe a good chance for him. If it's a bye for somebody, and that might be a good game for him to toss in there.
If they're playing TCU this week, TCU's got a decent defense. So that might be hit or miss, but if he can give you another performance like he did against West Virginia, there's nothing wrong with 6 grabs. I think he got targeted 8 times. So 6 grabs on 8 targets, 75 yards, touchdown. It's a solid week, especially for a fill-in guy. I'll take that.
So just a quick filler for you. Get on Sleeper. Look at the college scores. It'll give you all the stats. They have a game log on there that comes in very, very handy. Even though we don't really pay. Some of these juicy stats are behind paywalls. Well, Sleeper just gives them out for free. So.
We ain't pay for that. Only money we're spending is on fucking Pick 6 and DFS, man. I ain't spending. We got our own opinions. We do our own research for stats. We ain't worry about none of that nonsense. So Jay beats it. So I'm gonna beat it. So number 3, South Alabama. South Alabama is gonna be a recurring thing on the show, at least the rest of the stream here, however long we go. I got them on Squad Blitz coming up for one of the categories, and I've got Gio Lopez here, and he's a big part of it. Now through the air, 9 touchdowns, 0 picks, a little over 800 yards, like 843 yards. So he's not like, it's not Nussmeier from LSU or Jackson Dart or Cam or any of the. He's not putting up crazy, 10 to 13 passing touchdown and a crazy, 1,200 yards, 1,100 yards. But the rushing, when you combine the two, I like it. And he's a backup. Like you expect Jackson Dart to go out there and perform. He might be the way he's headed, he might be the number 1 pick of the NFL draft. Jackson Dart's been tearing it up. Cam, same thing. So you expect it from these guys. But Gio Lopez, 169 rushing yards, 2 touchdowns. 9 passing touchdowns, over 843 yards. It isn't turning the ball over. South Alabama's 2-1. They lost opening week, but he's been a guy we haven't touched. He's been available, and he's been, I think his biggest games came a couple weeks ago. Honestly, he's kind of almost. he hasn't been playing like shit, but he had 100 and something yards, 2 touchdowns the previous game. Have you come across Gio and have you thought about him? Have you picked him up in any of the leagues? Have you kicked it? What do you, I don't know. I just like to know because it's not a guy that we normally talk about, but he's there. He's always in the Mateer from John Mateer from Washington State. He was available in a bunch of leagues.
I'll be back in a minute. I got to refresh real quick. I'll be back in a second. Wait, nope. Yeah, I'll be right back. I had a weird little buzz noise. I was trying to. Yeah, it's still there. Just keep talking. I'm gonna refresh. I'll be right back in like 30 seconds.
Yep. Jay had to take a tea. Jay had to take a time out there. If you guys have any comments of any of these players, if you play in any fantasy college fantasy leagues, if you have any thoughts, if there's somebody you've picked up. Oh, and Jay's on deck. I think he's coming. He's on deck. He's getting the kinks worked out. He might. This just in. Is he coming? Is he here? He might be. Gio Lopez, 65% rostered. So it might be hit and miss. I know he's available in at least two of the three leagues that we do. So I asked Jay a question. I don't think he's picked him up yet because I don't think a lot of people have. But he definitely worth, especially bye weeks. Gio Lopez, South Alabama, definitely worth putting in the lineup at least for a week and see if he can cook a little bit. Especially if he can give you the rushing yards to go with it because he's a dual threat. I'd highly recommend him. Kalau Mullings. Oh, running back, Michigan. Oh, baby, number 4. And you guys probably remember him from the USC Michigan highlights, just running over USC defenders. Look like the second coming of Blake Horvath. Donovan Edwards is I like the other Donovan better. Our Donovan. Donovan Edwards is a little overrated. Mullings so far this year, over 400 yards rushing, 4 touchdowns. And a lot of that's been in the last 2 games. I think he's really taken over the feature role from Edwards. He's had over, I think, 312 yards rushing, 4 total touchdowns the last 2 games. So he's getting you a little bit there. I don't know. Whenever I see Jay, he's there. He's on deck. He's waiting to come. He's waiting to jump in. We're here. We're here doing some jump rope, and he's just waiting for his turn to get in there. Skip. So whenever he jumps on, we're talking about Mullings, the running back from Michigan, 31% rostered. If Jay's thought about picking him up, if anybody listening has thought about picking him up or using him for pick 6 or prize picks or any DFS plays, he's back.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
It was weird because I was just trying to get some information. Next thing you know, there was like a weird little buzz noise in, and I'm like, oh shit. And so I think it's just I think it was Fantrax, their website kind of messed with everything and trying to upload, just trying to upload it. So yeah, that was my fault in that. I'm like, because I was just trying to get some information. I just wanted to see where Lopez, like just his like stuff in general, like where he kind of ranked at, what was kind of his fantasy points per game was, to kind of give a good idea if he's more like a guy to stats for dynasty or anything like that. So I was trying to get that, but maybe I should just use my phone. It's like, God damn it, dude.
I don't know. I was going to ask before you went on. You can kind of combine the two of them. Kalau Mullings from Michigan. He's kind of been popping the last 2 weeks as the feature running back. And then Gio Lopez. Have you tried to pick up either of those guys or use them for any DFS or?
No, I actually haven't used Mullins. I didn't even quite honestly, I thought Edwards was going to be the main guy at Michigan.
I think we all did.
Yeah, that's why I was like, that's why I was stumped, because I thought, because going into drafts and stuff like that, I thought Edwards was going to be the guy, the way everything was kind of laying out the way to be. And then you don't really see him getting the touches, because I used him in a couple props to just a couple. I'm like, well, this guy should get some receiving yards no matter what, and that wasn't even the case. I'm like, what the hell's going on here with Michigan? And next thing you know, I mean, Mullins is racking off like 150 some odd yards, and next thing you know,
I mean, they're winning games. They can't throw the goddamn ball. I mean, this is like a 1940 offense they're running. Mullings I think he's got like 2 yards receiving all year. So Mullings isn't going to give you anything in the receiving game. But it's all going to be on the ground. But who better? I mean, the last 2 weeks, 312 yards, 4 touchdowns. That's pretty much his entire season in 2 games. So I mean, he would in the last 2 weeks he'd rank up there with just about anybody because Genty and Ollie and Genty, the 2 main backs. I know Judkins from Ohio State's, he's been up there too, but a lot of the feature main backs haven't really popped the last 2 weeks. So you could put Mullings up there with anybody if he can keep this going, just even on the ground. I'll take 100, dude. I'll take 150 rushing yards and 2 touchdowns every week. Sign me up.
Right? Yeah. I mean, he's been loading it up. I mean, I would say like, I think he's a little bit over like 20 some odd fantasy points a week. I was gonna. Yeah, because he's in one of my waivers too. So I'm like, yeah.
I'm gonna jump that. Yeah, I would. Yeah, I definitely. One game. Okay, anybody can have a good one game, but 2 games in a row, very similar stats. Donovan's smiling because I think he did it. I think Donovan was on Blake Horvath. He's probably been on Khalil Mullings. Maybe he's on the last player, the tight end. He's got a great first name, Eli Stowers from Vanderbilt. Actually,
it's because it's the same name as yours. That's probably why.
You're damn right. But he's a former quarterback and probably salvaged his college career because he wasn't a very good quarterback. He's a career backup. But so far this year, 19 receptions, 220 yards, 1 touchdown. Had a bigger game against, and I know they're a smaller school, Georgia State, but 9 receptions, 110 yards, and a touchdown. Missouri, who's arguably a top 10 team, he had 7 grabs, 57 yards. So I mean, they're solid numbers. And we're looking at this point, man, a lot of the guys that we're going to start were taking waivers, weeks 1, 2, 3, right? So now we're getting into like depth. We're getting into bye week fill-in guys, bench depth. That's kind of where we're at with the waivers. So a guy like Eli Stowers, if you need a backup tight end, that's where I would recommend it. I don't know if I would plug him in the starting lineup or anything, unless it was an emergency. But you're starting getting into depth, and I wanted to throw a tight end. I probably could have easily thrown another quarterback or receiver in there, but I wanted to throw another category. It was either going to be a tight end or a defense. So Stowers, I'm guessing you probably haven't. Maybe he's a guy that you saw if you're looking at the tight end category. Maybe he's a guy like 5th in line you'd see, but
yeah, I was struggling to find a tight end, and I thought I found one for my waivers, and I'm like, oh damn, like I don't know. It's crazy thing about. Well, we'll talk about it when I get to my waivers here. And Silvers, I mean, I think a lot of people have been picking up. I've been hearing some, just from other streams that he might be, I don't know if he's tight end 1 there or what, but he might be useful because I know we'll be struggling to find any kind of tight end we can, because I mean we're doing that in the same with the bad shit NFL, these guys in fantasy right now are not panning out for what they are.
Yeah, if we end up doing some kind of waiver show Saturday or anything, there'll be some guys we're gonna be ripping into, especially the quarterbacks. It's NFL side of things has just been with a lot of the fantasy, but like Sam Darnold, we haven't done any NFL stuff so far, but I think Sam Darnold is like the leader in quarterback fantasy points. That's where we're at. Like him, and I think it's like Josh Allen and maybe Sam Darnold too.
It's just crazy in general because I'm trying to struggling a little bit and trying to find tight ends to actually add to your roster and trying to find the guys that are actually getting the targets in an offense. So it's just like,
it's so fucking it is so hit and miss with the college game because we were both on Aranda Gadsden, the Aranda Gadsden, the junior from Syracuse, because he'd been having a monster year and he's going to be an NFL tight end for sure. So me and Jay both used him in DFS last week, and he shit the bed. Syracuse shit the bed on their whole season. What the kind of performance? You're lucky we didn't talk about that damn game when we were reviewing week 4. I thought I was done with week 4. I'm not, because guess what? Stanford shouldn't have won that damn game. Okay, that was a joke. Gadsden,
holy fucking shit!
McCord, no, he did his part, but Gadsden, just defenders were deflecting balls or he was dropping them. It was just, it was a bad performance on a standalone game like that. So, but so I mean, tight ends are hit and miss. We understand that, but Stowers is a guy to I would definitely pick up if you need some depth or backup. Jays, got some waivers for us.
Yes, I actually got some waivers for you. Yes.
Yeah.
So Donovan already picked up Dante Wright from the Temple Owls. So I'm like, I was giving him a little crap on that. I'm like, you picked him up already? He's like, oh, I'm just the eye in the sky. You're an eye in the sky. I'm like, yeah, you looked up my waivers.
Eye in the sky, motherfucker.
Usually, so if you guys don't follow me in X, I actually put out a top 4 guys to actually pick up. And I usually put that out like sometime Sunday or Monday morning. So if you guys are not following me out on Auto Rhythm Fan, you're missing out on actually the top 4 guys that I actually put out. It's a little bit more of a deleted flyer, little article. Give you, gives, so pretty much gives you their, target percentages. Also like the percentages of target percentages in the core and stuff like that, and just a small minor recap on the their whole season and what they're doing and whatnot. So if you guys go out and check that out, that whole thing out, it's kind of a thread on X. Same way with the college fantasy pickups. That's actually pinned at the top of my on X, so you can go and check them out from week to week. And I try to post at least sometime Monday at least. But I got a little late. I think I posted it later on Monday sometime. But yeah, so if you guys want to get these beforehand, follow me on X. So Deontay Wright, Temple Owl. Actually, which is crazy, Temple's actually 48th in the country, which is like, what? So actually not that bad, even though they kind of stink. But 34 targets on the season. He actually had a touchdown in the last 3 games. Couple hundred yard games. I think they have I think he'd be more of a bye week filler. But they're actually playing Army this week. Army gives up 186 yards in the passing. So I mean, that's that's not too bad. I mean, and the Owls actually per game are 48th in just in general. Wait, no. I think I did that wrong. I wrote down per game.
He's got a very favorable matchup. And like we were saying, a lot of these it's getting slim pickets. Maybe you get lucky with a Mullings, who Jay's going to probably talk about in a second. Maybe you get lucky and you get a feature guy that you can start every week, possibly. But most of the time, you're picking up backups, you're picking up depth, you're picking up for bye week fill-in kind of guys. So Dante Wright, I if I was needing somebody for a 1 week, I like this matchup against Army. I'd probably put him in the top 3 as well.
He's actually 41% rostered, only 28% started. So,
yeah,
I mean,
he's
widely available. Yep. And then Pat Wright.
Pat Bryant. I saw what he did to Nebraska, those 2 touchdowns. Stop him.
Yep. 5 for 74, 2 touchdowns versus Nebraska. With he's actually, he's only seen 25 targets total, which is crazy, and he's had 2 touchdowns in every 2 games but week 2. So I mean, he's seeing minimal targets.
Jay, was that 6 touchdowns and 25 targets?
Yes. And here what's funny, Bryant actually has done more with his 25 targets than Ibuka has with his 20 targets to 1 touchdown. So I'm like, what? So Bryant had 6 touchdowns on the season already. So I'm like, ooh, which will come to my squad blitz, when we get to that a little bit later too. But I mean, right now, Bryant, I mean, he's a little bit, he's 61% rostered. He's only 39% started. So, Bryant might be out there on your waivers, so he might be a guy you might want to toss in there. He can actually maybe get in there 2 touchdowns, and he is their main wide receiver too as well.
Yeah.
So it wouldn't hurt that maybe you actually put him on your bench. So I mean, between Wright and Pat, these 2 guys should be on your rosters, and I think they're more of a Wright is actually more of your bye week guy. I'm trying to like Bryant, he might be a guy you can actually just probably stick in your lineup and call it good. Now, Kalen, or is it Caleb?
Khalil
Calais?
Mullings. Khalil Mullings.
Mullins. Mullins now, he's, running back from
Khalid. DJ Khaled.
This is crazy. So, he's actually had over 100 yards rushing the last 2 weeks was crazy. So, this is more of your, our BBC kind of situation right now. I thought Edwards was going to be, the main guy. He's rostered 61%, and he's only started in 44% of leagues. So there's a good chance that he might be out there.
That was a great chance. And
yeah. So if he actually,
great chance somebody needs to pick him up.
So I overall I think he's more of a bench guy right now. I think because with him coming. So pretty much them playing Minnesota, I don't think there's a chance in hell that he's going to see another 100-yard game. So I think
their defense that might be a bad matchup, but I get him now. I mean, I would I would if you got bench of it, or if you need an upgrade of your backup running back. Like if your backup running back is just maybe it's Martinez from Miami. He's kind of had a down year. Maybe you consider swapping him out for Mullings. But yeah, Jay's got a good point with Minnesota's defense. Same thing with Bryant and Penn State. A lot of these elite defenses, like it's just hard to, even if they're great players.
Yeah. So we've got Alonzo Barnett III from JMU quarterback. He's
after
what he did. Yeah, he's actually 53rd in the country for yards. He has 7 touchdowns on the season, 1 interception. He's only 29% rostered, 1% started. He's averaging 37 points a game. And so, and they play Ball State, which is 1-2. They're 1-2. And he's actually third stat wise in the, Sun Belt Conference. And they actually, here's the crazy funny thing is JMU actually plays within division the rest of their games. So, a lot of these are going to be easy matchups for him to maybe tossing out, 37 points per game. So he plays in division, which a lot of these teams, are pretty much weaker teams. So, and JMU being more of the high passing, irrelevant team right now, not a bad option for a dynasty league. Same way with Emmett Brown. I'll get to in a moment. So, number 4 and 5 are your dynasty guys you might want to pick up for stashing because they're either sophomores or juniors, and they'll be irrelevant for next year.
Emmett Brown, with what he's doing. We know about Nick Nash. Nick Nash is
right
on pace to be the triple crown winner. Receptions, probably targets too. He's probably going to win all 4: targets, receptions, receiving yards, and receiving touchdowns. Emmett Brown's the guy feeding him. So Emmett Brown, he is a long play. If you can get him in dynasty, I 1,000%. I wish I had a little mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, like LA Knight says. Yeah, I circled that man right there. That blue and gold guy right there at number 5. I would circle him 10 times over like a tropical storm. There's a storm going on right now. I want to right there.
So
give me some Emmett Brown.
So Emmett Brown, he's second in stats in the Mountain West. There leads all QBs in passing, which is nuts. He's more your pocket passer, negative 42 in the rushing category, which is not what we like to see in quarterbacks.
But Jay, the better question is, we should do something with Emmett Brown. Would he be a transfer candidate? Like in the portal, is a bigger shitty program like a Florida State, for example. Is Florida State gonna just back the Brinks truck up to this guy and be like, "Hey, you come to Florida State, we'll give you $5 million."
Like, I think that's what I was kind of wondering because I think there's a case for him to be
get their hands on him.
Yep, he's passed 13 touchdowns already. The only other bigger games that I see right now is Stanford and Oregon State, and the rest of the games are all within the Mountain West. So Boise State.
He's gonna keep this going. There's no Penn State There's no Ohio State or even Tennessee's defense. I mean, there's none of these teams are on the schedule. These are very winnable games. Washington State, Oregon State are a little bit down from where they were last year, or last couple years. These are I could see him and Nick Nash, the dynamic duo. They going all year. You can get him now.
Congrats! Here's your Oakleys.
Here's your Oakleys. You're damn right.
No,
Jay, they should have got Nick Nash a couple weeks ago, and now they need to go get his tag team partner. They need to go get Emmett Brown.
Yeah, especially if you're playing in a 2-quarterback league, Emmett Brown would be a guy I would if you don't have guys like Cam Ward or anything like that. I mean, Emmett Brown would be a good bye week guy for you to toss in if two of your main other guys are out. But I mean, he is actually. I mean, San Jose is actually putting up 329 yards per game, which is crazy to think about. Those 13 touchdowns. He's averaging 36 points a week, and I mean that's almost close to Barnett with 37. So you want quarterbacks in the 30 to 40 points per game when it comes to college fantasy. Because other than that, you're not winning your matchups. So I mean, when it comes to quarterbacks, you want the 30 to 40 guy. The guys that are averaging 30 to 40 points per game in your lineups. But he is actually rostered 26% rostered, only 4% started. Even though he's on a bye this week, you need a guy. He's out there available. He's actually playing Nevada next week for week 6, and then we have for number 6 we got Isaiah Horton. Miami's actually the top passing team in college right now. Second overall, 405 yards per game, which is totally nuts. Horton is like the wide receiver 2 in this offense. So I mean he's here and there, but he's actually, so he's seen 24 targets to Xavier's 26 targets. Xavier's had a little bit more. He has 5 touchdowns to Horton's 1. So I mean, if you want a guy that's might see a touchdown or 2 within this offense, he's not a bad option. Or more, he might be more of your prop play, more than likely.
I think
19 for 278 yards.
Jay, I think Horton's become their number 2 receiver, and having arguably the best fantasy quarterback in the country, being his number 2 receiver. Sign me up. Miami's been unreal. Crispy, thanks, man. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. Damn right. We've been talking up Cam Ward. I go back and watch from a few weeks ago, man. Maybe Jay's got a short on it. I predicted before. I think it was just we're a week into the season, so. Cam Ward didn't have 20 touchdowns week 1. I predicted a Heisman. I said he'd be up there in every passing statistical category. He is. He's right. Has got to go.
Oh, Chris.
Oh no, Jay. He's after what they did against Denver last weekend. Guy at work is a guy at my work is a Seahawks fan, and he was all proud of himself, and 3-0.
Honestly,
everyone says how your Bucks do. It's like when they asked Jay, how'd the Cowboys do? It's like, well, how the fuck do you think they did? How the fuck they got run over by fucking Derrick Henry? How do you think the Bucks did? Couldn't stop Bo Nix. Who dat? Yeah, right.
Yeah. Chris, I was trying to find my FSU hat, but it was hidden, and I'm like, I think I'll just pick.
I think he wants an LSU. I think he wants an LSU hat. You know what? Just for Chris, because he sounds like a Cajun. Keep talking, Jay. I think I'm gonna change my wardrobe.
Oh no, Chris, I appreciate you jumping in. If you guys don't, Chris is actually at his stream is 1 foot down over there I think it's In Flames. He actually covers college too as well. So I mean, if you guys want some college content too as well, he's over there handing out good content as well. They give you pretty much one guy to avoid or go with on their streams, so that they're a great guy as well. Gio Lopez, I didn't really, Chris, I actually did not have an opportunity to kind of take a look at him. I know there was some I know them down there, they actually played pretty damn good down there, so
a little better, Chris.
I guess we can put it this way: is Gio Lopez, a match for Barnett and Emmett Brown for like more of the G5 guys that can put up big numbers. Is he, out of those three guys, how would we rank those guys? Would we put Barnett 1, Brown 2, Lopez with 3, or would we where we go either way?
I would go. Yeah, there we go. I would go Emmett Brown 1, Geo 2, and Barnett 3 in that order.
Yeah. Yeah, because I didn't really have an opportunity to take a look at Geo. And I just know that South Alabama, Tolbert came from there. They usually have a good offense and stuff like that down there for the G5 teams and like that. They're always pass heavy down that way, so I didn't have an opportunity to actually take a look at them. So yeah. Other than that, yeah, I gave Chris a nice prop. He's at the One Foot Down podcast, so I gave him. That's where he's from. Yep, that's why he's giving me shit about my hat. So I told him to let's get together and we'll talk some college ball and maybe get him on a show and whatnot. But yeah, Chris is a good guy. He's there. He's puts out good content too as well. But yeah,
go support. Yeah. All these content creators. This shit ain't easy. There's a lot of prep work and a lot of, you got to have a lot of equipment to do this stuff. So anybody that's doing it, go support his channel as well. Geo and Fluff putting up points.
Hey, if they're putting up, 30 some odd points, a week, hell, why not? I mean, he's, just like Barnett, 37, Brown, 36 points per game. So if these guys are putting up points, let's get them on our, on our team. Oh yeah, hell yeah, Chris. I mean, you do great work over there, and I was actually trying to watch your show Monday, and I've got a little comprehended with some other stuff, and I was going to chime in and see how you guys were doing. And so yeah, I actually went back and listened to your show. I love it. They do great work over there. I love it. All right, my tight end. So on the other side is pretty much tight ends, kickers, and defenses. I was looking at Cooper Mathers. I was trying to figure. I was like, I was like, okay, like I mentioned earlier, we're trying to find tight ends just because it's the tight end platform is hard to come by, just trying to find guys that are going to produce for us, get an average of maybe 12 points or something for us at least.
Show a pulse. Don't be Jalon Daniels. Show a pulse.
It's one of those things where I was digging into them. I'm like, maybe this was a bad option. I mean, he had 2 touchdowns, but then I was going back looking at him. He's barely, and he's a senior. That's the bad part of it. I mean, 2 for 12, maybe he, with this Washington is a team, is dependent on their, pretty much a quarterback because that's all they got right now. He's pretty much been the offense. He's tossing it, so the team wise, they're actually 22nd in rushing, 22nd in passing as well. So it's just like, this guy, like, pretty much he's like a one-man wrecking crew. And so I was like what the hell, so I was like, this can't be true. They have a lot of they actually have 2 other freshmen on the roster. Cooper is actually a senior, and I thought, well, maybe this guy's actually did something with the Cougars, and he's only had 1 touchdown. So I mean, a total of 3 touchdowns. Like, well, maybe this was a bad option, but maybe with them going to Boise, they're gonna have to make, if they do get to the end zone, maybe he's a good option in the red zone, for them. So maybe Mathers can actually get a touchdown or 2 for you in that aspect of them getting to the red zone.
Mateer to Mathers. I like the sound of that.
So
here's red zone option for him. That's his only value. I mean, we saw 2 catches, 12 yards, 2 touchdowns. We know where the hell he was getting the ball. So
yeah. So I was like, he's a senior and like he might be a lost cause, but the only option is for him to in the red zone, for he might be a good prop play too as well. He might be like, hey, a touchdown or 2 or maybe a little bit over. Here's the crazy thing. Mathers, he's actually like he's 15th in passing yards and 14th in rushing yards. So I'm like, what? Like this team is and them actually being 4-0. I'm like, dude, this is crazy.
Yeah, that John Mateer is like the best quarterback nobody's talking about in the country. Like, and we were on him a few weeks ago with fantasy, but it really, if Washington State can kind of pull a rabbit out of the hat and win, like, not go 9-3 or something, I mean, that would be amazing. Yeah, being a hell of an accomplishment.
Yeah. And then pretty much you got your, kicker. If you need a kicker, Colin Rogers, MSU. They play Florida State this week. He had 3 for 4, put up 20 fantasy points last week.
He'll be banging them through against FSU. I like that a lot because we know FSU can't score the goddamn ball, so there's gonna be a lot of field goals. Probably a defensive game. So Rogers might be a great play. There's a good play and for kickers, and this would be a great play.
Yeah,
I go with him.
Yep, and then my
kicker.
Yeah, that's what I thought too as well. I'm like, I mean, maybe with FSU, maybe winning their one game, that it might end up being a little bit closer.
Yeah,
So I'm like, so it's kind of one of those things that kickers, pretty much when you play, like NFL fantasy and them, the pro football stuff. Some leagues still have kickers, and some leagues just don't have kickers because they're just irrelevant. But in the college, there's so many variety of guys that are 131 teams worth of kickers. So I mean, pick and choose your gun and go at it. So it's just kind of one of those things. But my defense, Iowa State against Houston, I think that's Iowa State's actually been pretty stout. They've been getting sacks in the last couple of games. The last couple of games they had 2 sacks. I think the previous week they had a couple takeaways and some sacks. So I mean, Houston isn't doing too well right now, so I think Iowa State is a good matchup for you if you're looking for a defense.
Yeah, and don't always pay attention to the statistics like scoring per defensive. Oh, they're only giving up 10 points a game. Well, I'm more concerned: are they getting picks? Are they getting sacks? Are they forcing fumbles? Getting defensive touchdowns? I could give a shit about yardage given up or points. I mean, we're in the business, like Jay was saying. They've been getting to the quarterback the last couple of weeks, and they're off everybody's radar. Pitt would be another, if Pitt's defense still there, another great pickup, but they got a bye week. So if you got to make do, if you just need a 1 week fill-in kind of team, Iowa State would be a good option. Absolutely.
Yeah. Just a couple notable mentions here, real quick. Jacoby James from UMass, it might be a guy you might want to take a look at. Very low rostered. And then Zachariah Branch, he's 73% rostered. But he's pretty much a sophomore up there with USC. And then Elijah Metcalf Marshall, 14% rostered, 7% started. So I mean, these are just some other options out there. If you want to take a look at them, you sure can. But there could be some bye-week fillers for you in those aspects. But just some guys maybe take a look at, a little bit lower percentage rostered. But other than that, I actually had Eli Holsterin from Pitt too as well. He's actually 61% rostered and 29% started, and he's actually killing it too.
I think there's a lot of Eli's in college football killing it right now. I'll be frank about that. So I'm proud.
Jesus.
Sweet Jesus.
All right.
Me and Jay laying down some waivers here. I'll do some quick DFS, and then do you want to do a little bit of squad blitz? Some quick Okay. I'll see. And Jay, give your thoughts, or if anybody following the stream, if you want to give your thoughts on maybe a better play. I just picked the best 5 that I saw. I picked the 5 that I always go, we're transparent here. These are the ones that I would go with. The 6th one, let's be honest, right now a lot of these places are running a special. Like you can do Caleb Williams, getting 1 yard and you get an automatic freebie or there's probably some college equivalent to that. Will Howard, if he has 1 yard, you're getting, give us a like, subscribe, like we've been saying, help the cause, spread the good word. So a lot of these places give you freebies. So we give you 5. So if you have 5 of the 6, and then it's on you to get that last one. And because you know what we want you to do? Bring it in here real close. Jay, get that sound effect ready. money. We want you to win money. So I picked. It's like a combo platter here. So these are the Saturday games. Now there's options for Friday night. There's a couple Friday night games you could pick. Our favorite guy, Cam Ward, he's playing Friday night, so you won't see him on here. But I picked the top three are all below. So the red arrow obviously means I'm thinking less than, and the green arrow means more than. And I'll give my reasons why. Let me see here. Bam, Kobe. Riley Leonard playing Louisville's defense. The dude has no games over 163 yards passing this year. If you'd believe it. This was supposed to be a highly touted, like this is fucking Notre Dame. They got a pocket, they probably got a top 5 or 6 college budget, Texas and some of the other richer schools, Oregon. I mean, Notre Dame's right up there. I mean, they got money to throw around. I mean, I know he got hurt last year at Duke, but we know about the dual threat. Riley Leonard is supposed to be a big prospect coming over, replacing Sam Hartman, but I don't see it. The rushing's there with him. I mean, he's been productive in the rushing game, but passing has just been a shit show. So I'm taking the under on 171.5 yards. Do you want me to do all 5 and give your thoughts? Okay. I'll bang these out and you give your overall thoughts. Jackson Dart. And this has been one of our favorites too. I mean, this guy, he's been tearing up everybody left to right. They're playing Kentucky. I don't think much of Kentucky. You don't think much of Kentucky. I know you listening, you don't think much of Kentucky, but they got a damn good defense. Kentucky, all 4 quarterbacks they played this year. Now, granted, they weren't playing Alabama, George, Beck, Milroe, guys like that. They weren't Nico from Tennessee. They haven't been playing guys like that. But still, all 4 quarterbacks have been held well under 200 yards. And we know how explosive Jackson Dart is, but I think he's due for a come down game. He's been putting up 300, 400. I mean, he's been tearing it up. So I think this will be a down game for him. If I were to guess, I'd say maybe 240 passing yards. So I'm going to take the under on 294.5. Jalon Daniels, like I mentioned earlier, you know what? Here, just so you guys know, he's been blacklisted. Right there. That man has been blacklisted. You don't touch. He's on a block list. Do not contact list. He's there. Him and DJU are members 1 and 2 on that list. I'm going to have him under a touchdown and a half. He did have one game this year so far where he had 2 touchdowns, so he is capable. But he also had the other 3 games, 1 touchdown, and no touchdowns. So it's kind of probably a 40-60 bet that he's not. So I'm going to take the 60 that he's not gonna. I mean, he might get 1 touchdown. It might be to our boy Luke Grimm, but Jalon taking the under on that. Pat Bryant, 49.5. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? All 4 games have been over 63 yards. Nonetheless, all 4 games have been over 50 yards. So he's batting 1,000 right now for this play here. And I'm saying being the number one target. I know Illinois has got a tough game against Penn State, but Altmaier is a solid quarterback, and Bryant's going to have over 49.5 yards. You damn right. He probably do what he's been averaging, somewhere around 80, 90 yards. I'll take it, and you'll win your parlay there. The last one, we haven't talked about him a lot. Judkins, the stud running back from Ohio State. We know what happened to Travion Henderson. He's kind of fell by the wayside. Judkins is, the Ole Miss transfer. That guy's a beast. 31 rushing touchdowns the past 2 years, 15 and 16. So I mean, Judkins was a big pickup for Ohio State in the portal, but he's been averaging the last 2 games 141 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. So definitely going to take the over on 76.5 rushing yards. I think that's a solid 5. I think you can win with that. What are your thoughts?
Jackson Dart, I think, even though Kentucky, there might be that team that's 2-2 and might just come in and wreck something, but I don't know. I think Dart goes over, 300 some odd yards still. I mean, even though you can have, what's that?
On this passing defense? That's bold.
Hey, you never know. It's very possible. Hell, I was thinking, when I put in the prop for freaking Ohampton, over 100 some odd yards. I didn't think he was going to do it because JMU was pretty much just wrecking him, and I'm like, oh shit, dude, this might not be good. And I mean, he did it, So I mean, if Ole Miss can't get the running game going, they're going to have to pass. They might slow them down a little bit. So I think it could, if you want to take a long shot, it could be over. Daniels, yeah, that might be. If Kansas City can't get anything going, yeah, I can more likely see that. Yeah, they might not do anything there.
I don't think Jay. I don't think he can show his face around the whole state of Kansas ever again if he doesn't get 2 touchdowns here. They need a win. They need a win bad.
Yeah. I was just looking at the Bryant average, so I think the over on his 49.5 yards. Yeah, and he's been averaging about 70. So I think that'll be a great over on that one. I was going to look at that game too. I was actually looking at the Friday night games too. I was thinking about maybe putting some of those in for the Friday night. So I was actually trying to have some props ready for the Friday night games, which is in a couple days. I was going to try to have some of those props ready, but I was doing some other stuff there. And Judkins, I really had, honestly, I actually did not have an opportunity to take a look at Ohio.
He is better than Travion Henderson, who at one time, Pete's back. Beautiful. Just in time, we're talking about Judkins from Ohio State, the Ole Miss transfer. Travion Henderson at one time was the number 1 back? Jesse's props.
Yeah. No, Judkins was an Ole Miss guy. He actually transferred to Ohio State.
And just who he overtook. It wasn't some random guy. He changes jerseys. I had to go wash off quick. That Ohio State just left a stain on me. And Chris B joined us too. He was enjoying it. Get this guy a Texas Ewers jersey. I'll take one. You find me one online, Pete, and it's going on this body. I'd like an Quinn Ewers jersey, and maybe an Arch Manning jersey too. I mean, let's
there we go.
Texas 2-step.
Daniel, we'll get to your question here in just a moment. We'll finish this up and we'll get to your question. But I mean, yeah. Other than that, I think Judkins, I didn't really have an opportunity to take. I mean, there's very possible. I mean, it's kind of like it's with the Ohio State, it's more like a 2-headed monster because I mean they got the other back too. Here's the crazy funny thing was I actually was watching was it one of the ESPN guys or whatever sat down with the head coach and they talked about how they brought in Judkins. One of the other guys was going to be pretty much a guy for the NFL draft. So they pretty much got a 2-headed monster, and the other guy is nowhere to be seen in fantasy right now. So I'm like, I'm saying wait. Because I had him last year. He was the main guy for last year at Ohio State, and he struggled.
Ibuka is, I mean, he's been okay, but he hasn't been. He's not Marv Jr. out there, or even some of the other studs they've had. Olave, some of the other studs they've had the last couple years at receiver. Like he's none of those guys.
Henderson, Henderson. I had
yeah. So a lot of the bigger names at Ohio State that we thought were going to pop this year, I mean, just haven't been. It's been the 2 transfer guys. It's been Will Howard at quarterback, a lot of the defense, and then Judkins, the Ole Miss transfer. So, but yeah, I think that's a great play. I mean, he's been averaging, like I was mentioning, 141 yards the last 2 games, a couple touchdowns. So I think 76.5 is a small. That's a drop in the bucket. He ripped off an 80-yarder, I think, last against Marshall. So I mean, he did one run, and this man could put you over that. So I think
most definitely.
You want to win some money, then go with these 5 years. There we go. There's that register, and then add the 6. Yeah, the 5 are free. The 6th is on you.
Yeah, because I was actually looking at the Friday slate. That's what I was going to put in here for the show tonight. Because you got Miami versus Virginia Tech and Rutgers against Washington. So I think there were some good matchups in that game for some top plays. So that's why I was looking at Horton, maybe Xavier Respro, maybe so there were some options up in there. So I'm not too sure on Rutgers. I was going to dig into him a little bit. I just know a little bit.
They got a really good running back.
Yeah. And then I was going to look at Washington too.
That's all anybody needs to know about Rutgers. They got a really good running back.
So there's Eli. There's some props from you, or some props for you from Eli. Hopefully you make some money off of those. And yeah. Other than that, let's get to this question real quick, and then we'll get into the squad blitz. So who do you got between Georgia and Alabama? Honestly, Daniel, I don't like both those teams. I don't give two rats asses about those teams just because they're they're always in the news all too much. They're always about, oh, what about Georgia? What about Alabama? I don't really care.
I don't like, honestly, I don't like what I've seen from Georgia this year. Carson Beck might be a little overrated. I mean, defense is, like it always is. They always have NFL players and they're always good on defense, but I'm leaning Alabama. I think Alabama can it'd be a small, slight upset, but I think Alabama can pull this one off, especially at home. I'm going to take Alabama. And Georgia's a couple-point favorite. You can see on the scroll at the bottom, we've listed our 4 big games. So, we try to put the over-under the amount of points and like who, the line for it. So Georgia's a small favorite, but I think Alabama, I would take Alabama. So I go with them.
I do like ETN. He's kind of starting to slowly kind of come around a little bit.
Trevor Etienne, he's actually had it's more name recognition, I think, because you think he'd be better than he is. He really hasn't had a big, fantasy wise at least, he really hasn't had any kind of a year. And Carson Beck has been solid, but not spectacular. Hasn't been Cam Ward, hasn't been Jackson Dart, hasn't been Nussmeier. Like, he hasn't been any of these guys. So I think Georgia's ripe, and they barely got by Kentucky. I mean, we know how good Kentucky's defense is, but they barely got by Kentucky, and they just haven't looked that impressive. Like, there's a reason why Texas jumped them for the number 1 spot. I think Ohio State wins again, they probably jump them for number 2. So, or I guess Alabama would Alabama should go to, definitely, if they beat Georgia, they'll go to number 2. But that answers that, and we'll do some squad blitz here. You know what? We changed it up, Jay, from last week. I know he beat me. So I'm 1-3 in squad blitz. What's your record? No. Where's the Daniel Bryan? No. What's your record again, there, big boy?
I am 3-1.
So he put, I thought we were going to be 2-2 and even, but nope. He put me to bed. My season is impaired.
Wow. Since when did you become the physical type?
I'm ready to shove somebody. I need to rip off a couple wins. So I made some adjustments to the old team here, move some things around, and this is what we're looking at. So the way Squad Blitz works, the name of the game, basically there's 8 teams. So you have an 8-team roster. You pick 6 of them. 2 of them, if it's a bye week or you just want to bench them for the week, you can do that. But it's a total of 8 teams. You could transfer people out. I mean, obviously, you guys know I didn't have South Alabama last year. How did I get them? The transfer portal. That's right. I picked them up. How did I get How did I get SMU? I did the transfer portal. I picked them up too. So when you're 1-3, desperate times call for desperate measures. So that's what we did. I moved Louisville over. They're going to be my passing offense this week. 94, a little over 94 points. It's not the greatest, but it'll work. They've got the number 10 passing attack in the country in terms of passing yards. So Louisville's got a pretty good passing offense. So we'll go with them. Obviously, with Gio Lopez, hopefully, fingers crossed he stays healthy, because their passing game isn't the greatest. We mentioned that, only 9 touchdowns, 843 yards. That's in 3 games, by the way. It's not over 4, but like Gio's not going crazy with the passing yards. So they're not like South Alabama's not like a top 5 passing offense or anything. But what Gio gets you in the rushing game with fantasy points, that's what kind of puts South Alabama up there, and they've got over 113. So I put South Alabama as my second, and you got to choose from teams as well. You kind of pick, you go down, and when you're doing the transfer portal, you can only do the available teams. Like, I can't just magically make Tennessee appear. I can't just magically make Ole Miss appear. They're on other teams, like maybe on Jay's team, maybe on some of the other guys in the league. I don't have access to those teams. I go with what I can. I picked up South Alabama, Louisville. So we got the 2 passing teams. Rushing teams over, and Jay's going to give his thoughts too, how my team is looking to see if I can win my matchup. But rushing, I went with Notre Dame again. Notre Dame has got the number 10 rushing offense in the country. Notre Dame is just solid week in, week out with the rushing attack. No need to change. No need to rock the boat there. Notre Dame is probably going to be my rushing team every week for the rest of the year. So they'll be a lock there. Indiana was my defensive team last week after I picked them up, and now they're my rushing team. Almost 200 points in squad blitz, which is amazing. I mean, it's a collective thing. They don't have like one particular back that's just going off. I mean, it's a collection of quarterback, the running backs, like everybody's pitching in to get Indiana as many fantasy points as they have. So Indiana's kind of a sleeper good rushing attack. So I put Indiana right there. Defense moved Duke over a little bit. I think Duke was my passing offense last week. So we got to move some stuff around. We're 1-3. Duke 91 points on the defensive side of the ball. Not exactly the best, like scoring wise. They're not giving it in Tennessee or like one of these Ohio State, one of these teams giving up like 9 points a game or anything. But they are getting to the quarterback. They're turnovers, and so that's kind of where Duke is getting their points at, is kind of mashing it together. So we're gonna go with them. And SMU, the same thing. They're not up there in scoring defense and yards per game. They're not really. That's not their strength. It's like we were mentioning with Iowa State's defense when Jay was talking about picking them up on waivers. Some of these defenses are sneaky good. They're sneaky good at getting the quarterback. They're sneaky good at interceptions, and so that's why I'm hoping here that SMU and Duke can get me some turnovers and get to the quarterback, because that would help out a lot. What do you think of these 6 teams to try to get me to 2-3?
How dare you get South Alabama from me?
You damn right. I've been eyeing Geo. I wanted to talk about him for weeks. I held off, and I brought it on you.
So I was actually trying to find a different team that, we mentioned, about JMU. I actually tried looking for JMU.
Yeah.
They did not have JMU.
Somebody picked them up.
No, they don't. No, they don't. I don't think they're on the roster in general. I don't think they're out there. Or are they? I don't think that, because I actually researched. I was actually going to pick up JMU. I was actually going to go and pick them up, and I could not find them whatsoever. I'm like, what? Is JMU not on their transfer portal? A team you cannot pick up? So I was like, what? I'm like, no freaking way. So I'm like, with them actually, throwing down like a 70 burger and whatnot, dude, that's some massive freaking fantasy points in the passing game right now. And I'm sure they would that would average over 100. So they should have over 100 some fantasy points in the passing game right now. But they're not out there. So I'm like, dude, you got to get JMU on this on out there so we can actually pick them up, play them.
Yeah, and no team found.
Yeah. So I was like, what? I was like, no way.
What is this? What is this horse shit here?
But yeah, it's an app that's still in the working progress of getting fine-tuned. So if you there's the guys
glitch.
Are actually
there's a glitch for James Madison.
Yep. So it's getting fine-tuned. It's just kind of it's the first year of this. So a lot of fine-tuning is going to come over the next few years, but a good product in general, if you just want to simplify without playing rosters and stuff like this, it's a great way to just come in, play, and you don't have to worry about picking up guys. You can just look at a team in general. But yeah, I mean, you're up against Colorado, Air Force, Army, UNLV, which I think might take a downward spiral. We got Washington State, so I'm like, ooh, maybe they
Washington State could be interesting. Washington with Mateer. I don't know. Did they pick Washington State as the rushing or the passing?
No, defense. They got him in a defense. So I'm like, ooh.
Yeah, I'm winning this. I'm going to 2-3, baby. They got the wrong people in the wrong. They probably got Colorado as the rushing team. I don't know about this. I don't know about this manager here.
Yeah, the passing. They got Colorado as their passing.
Okay, well, he does do that. All right.
Yeah, yeah. They got LSU as well. So LSU, Colorado passing, Air Force, Army rushing. So yeah, hopefully you can pull out a win. That's for damn sure. Other than that, I don't mind it. I mean, MSU is, if they can hold down their who they're I think they're playing. I don't remember who they're playing. They're playing someone. I don't know. So many teams to talk about. But overall, You should be able to win. I think, especially with the passing, South Alabama. I mean, yeah, you should be able to actually stay up with the LSU defense for sure. So, but yeah, here's my team. I got San Jose. I got TCU.
What are we gonna do about San Jose State?
I know. See, that's the question to ask about because I'm like, well, bye. I'm like, well, I don't know. That's the thing. I was kind of looking, and honestly, I'm thinking I might just go out and pick up Illinois. The Illinois is, it's not McCord at Syracuse, but
Altmaier is deceptively I watched him against Nebraska. I'm like, that is a good quarterback. Altmaier from Illinois. That's a Bryant. He's got a few weapons. I mean, that Illinois team. They're going to put up a fight against Penn State. Just watch. But yeah, I don't know what category. Maybe the passing category you'd stick them in, or
yeah. That's what I was thinking. Because have the upside of Bryant of getting the touchdowns and touchdowns in that area. So I'm thinking picking up Illinois just for the passing reasons, and keeping TCU right there. And then for my rushing, I got Utah and Arkansas, and I think Arkansas is down a little bit on in the rushing category there. So I'm like, so I don't know. I mean, 46 points per game, so I'm like, do I keep with them? Do I try to stay with them? But it's just one of those, like, well, maybe there's some other options out there. But I mean, if I have to, I'll stick with Arkansas in that aspect. And then my dilemma. Two teams facing each other. I got a defense from Michigan, a defense from Minnesota, and they're both playing each other.
I would honestly, it's so tough because Minnesota's defense has been productive all year, but you got to remember, Michigan's not going to throw the fucking ball. Michigan is going to. They are going to run the ball. Yeah, they're going to run the ball and run the ball and run the ball and run the ball. So there ain't going to be any turnovers unless there's a fumble. Mullings coughs it up, or Edwards, or so they're not going to they're not coughing. They're not creating any turnovers. I mean, scoring is going to be low. I could easily this could turn into like a Kentucky Georgia 13-12 kind of game. So I don't know. You might be safe. Unless you can find another team that can create turnovers, that's in the portal. But then again, it's like you risk losing. I don't know if you got somebody on the bench, maybe one of the two teams that's.
I got. So pretty much I got USC and I have Mississippi State. So and Mississippi State, I might be dumping them to find somebody else.
Maybe Mississippi State for a 1 week. Maybe a all around. Well, let's see. You want to see who's available? So you want to see who's available for Jay? You want to? Because we're in the same league. Let's see here.
So I got Rob. So the guy I'm playing up against has got North Texas. He's got Syracuse. He's got UFC. He's got Liberty. He's got Tulane. And his defense is Tennessee on bye. He's going to be hurting because he's got 3 teams on bye right now. And I don't know. I might win this one, but UFC.
Well, all the best defensive teams are on buys. If you look, South Carolina, all the available best defensive teams: South Carolina, Pitt, Coastal Carolina, Toledo, Cal, all of them. So the only team I see here on Squad Blitz would be Illinois. Illinois is the best pickup because not only are they productive in the passing game, but their defensive points are impeccable too. So Illinois is definitely a pickup that will happen. I'd get rid of Mississippi State for sure. You can't lose San Jose State. I just
I am not getting rid of them. But
maybe you take I don't know, man. Maybe you take a flyer on USC's defense. Maybe they can create some turnovers or something. Because I don't like Minnesota's defense against Michigan. I just think it's going to be with both of them playing each other, and I think it might be a low scoring game. There might not be a whole lot of offensive stuff going on. And that's the sad thing is they're setting football back, Jay. They're setting football back 80 years with this game.
Sweet Jesus.
So yeah, that's kind of our squad blitz for the week. But we'll still kind of fine tune this kind of each week a little bit to how to present it and talk about teams for ads and pickups and stuff like that. So for people that are playing squad blitz, so you can kind of get an idea of what to kind of look at. We'll fine tune this a little bit more. I mean, we're just kind of talking about our teams and kind of general matchups and stuff like that and
I've had
whatnot. So
had more guys, just as a FYI, I've had more fun playing squad blitz this year than I have anything related with the NFL. And trust me, this guy has this man right here in that Bucks hat. He's put me in so many damn NFL leagues, especially on sleeper. Some of those, I mean, like my interest level is just it's been down, but like I said, it's been ramped up though for especially the college product, and squad blitz has been a revelation. This is something to be a part of. If it's too late in the year, 2025. I mean, this is definitely it's fun. It's teams. It's not individual players. It's just it's simple. It's 3 categories, and so you're helping the cause. We're helping. Hopefully we can help these guys grow. And likewise, and I love everything about squad blitz so far. So I mean, it's a great thing to get involved in early, in the early stages of it. So, and then we'll do one more little bit here, and then we'll get up out of here. For you, you know what? I got a lot of trash I got to take out tonight. I've been throwing away a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. You know what? I'll put on the list here. Players to look out for, and it could just be for watching fantasy, whatever. Just 6 guys I could see, pulling off something that maybe they weren't expected to this week. Luke Altmaier, quarterback from Illinois, 10 touchdowns, no picks. He's completing over 71% of his passes. Just had a very underrated year. Illinois, number 19 in the country, going at Penn State. Hopefully, I mean, it'd be nice. I mean, for Jay and I have become big fans of Pat Bryant, the receiver from Illinois. So, I mean, it would be to his benefit to have Altmaier kind of slinging around a little bit. And I think they're going to be competitive with Penn State. I think it's going to be a competitive game. I think Illinois is going to answer the bell, and Altmaier is going to have a deceptively good game, probably over 200 yards passing, 2 touchdowns, a pick is what I'm thinking. But I think they're going to be right in it. Obviously, Garrett Nussmeier, 13 touchdowns, 2 picks. He's been, I mean, can you, what LSU quarterback hasn't been productive the last, since Burrow and Jaden Daniels? I mean, everybody's hitting. I mean, this kid's slinging it all over the damn place. Play our good friends at South Alabama this week. So that'll be a fun matchup, seeing Gio go up against that defense. And, that'll be a good, it'll be a good litmus test too for South Alabama's offense. Like, let's see where and that's what I'm curious to know. That's why I'm starting them this week in squad blitz. I'm curious to know what they can do against, a top 15, top 20 team like LSU for sure. UNC, Amarian Hampton going up against Duke. He's going to need a monster game because that's all they got. Okay. That's their, I mean, I give him 40 touches a game. I would say I would just feed him and feed him and feed him and feed him some more. Duke is a winnable game. UNC needs to get back on track after the James Madison loss. So I could see Hampton having another monster game, maybe 190 yards, a couple touchdowns. I don't think that's out of question. Penn State, Nick Singleton. He's kind of I think the NFL scouts think more highly of him than we do, especially in fantasy. Like, he's not popping. He's not a big fantasy guy, but he's kind of a prospect to be. He's kind of in that running back 5 or 6 range on Draft Buzz last time I looked. So he's projected to be an NFL running back. They're playing Illinois, so I like that. That's gonna be, honestly, because I'm not a Georgia. Obviously I picked the game, but I'm not a Georgia and Alabama fan. Neither is Jay. So the game I'm more interested in watching is Illinois and Penn State. I think that's gonna be a good one. It's gonna Lar, the Penn State quarterback, he's pretty good too. He's a NFL prospect, so it'd be a good quarterback matchup, good running back matchup. Penn State's got some, especially the defense. They got players all over the field, so be a really good one there. Travis Hunter playing UCF. UCF's a 14-point favorite over Colorado. I think Colorado's going to be in. I think Colorado's going to be in that game.
They will be going to Miami for sure.
I love it. Yeah. Only place on the internet you can get some. You can get the Who. You can get out of rhythm. You can get Travis Hunter. Oh, the three most random things coming together, and it all sounds great. Travis Hunter's going to go off against UCF. I think they're going to pull the upset. I think Colorado's going to beat UCF, go to 4-1, and kind of put their name back in the hat again for the Big 12. Kind of save their season here. I think Colorado's going to pull, and Travis Hunter's going to have another monster game. 160 yards receiving, maybe a couple touchdowns. Just be on the lookout for that. And then Devontae Ross, kind of my sleeper guy of the week, kind of the lesser known guy. I try to throw at least one guy in there that maybe nobody's heard of. Devontae Ross from Troy. I like him a lot. The guy's averaging almost 20 yards a catch. He's got 26 receptions, 500 yards, 6 touchdowns. Kind of been having a very under the radar kind of season. And he's actually available in a few leagues too. Like not like readily, available, but I mean, if in a pinch, you might be able to find him out on the waiver wire, which is incredible. I mean, for the 500 yards and 6 touchdowns, and this guy's still available possibly. So Devontae Ross from Troy, he's working himself into some uncharted territory for Troy. You don't normally think of Troy, you think of DeMarcus Ware, the old Cowboys pass rusher. You don't think of skill position guys, but I could see him going off this weekend. So those are my 6 guys to watch. That's my little watch party for week 5.
I think the game. Oh, yeah, that's right. We actually have one more thing to actually take a look at. I forgot all about that before we get up out of here.
Ooh, yeah.
But yeah, I think the UCF game and Colorado game is going to be pretty good. UCF does stop the run. They're only allowing maybe 60 yards a game, so it's going to be more of a high. I think it's going to be back and forth. Yeah, it's going to be more of a high passing game more than likely. Because I'm not sure what Colorado gives up. Maybe Henry, dashes through that Colorado defense. So it's going to be. I think that's going to be a good game to watch. Yeah. The Penn State Illinois game is going to be a game to more likely I'm going to probably try to kind of catch an eye on too as well. But yeah, I know that's going to be a good matchup because I think that might be in one of my things. I'm not sure yet. I don't know, but yeah, these are some good guys to kind of keep an eye on. So not bad. I like it.
Yes. Yep. So we got, and we should pick them. We should pick them. And it is I fuck up graphics too. It's week 5. It's fine.
Oh yeah, it is week 5. God dang it!
Oh, it's fine.
I didn't even notice that. I was more worried about putting the notable games up in here.
Yeah,
so I was more worried about that. No. So the games I got here is quickly is Arizona, Utah, Michigan, Minnesota, Ohio State, Michigan, Louisville, and Notre Dame. So we'll start at the top with Arizona and Utah.
I wonder if McMillan, I don't know if the team's kind of fallen off. Like the hype is gone. Like, I mean, he's still, monster, going to be a first round pick, but I don't know. The hype around this Arizona team is it's like the balloon got deflated. Like I think Cam Rising he's questionable every damn week now. So it's like, you never know what you're going to get. Yeah, like Forrest Gump's life is like a box of chocolates. You never know what you're going to get. So, but I'll tell you what, Utah's going to win this game. But it'd be nice to see Arizona get back on track offensively, especially for McMillan owners. Just get him back on track. Maybe have a monster game. It's gonna be hard. Utah's got a really good defense, like they do every year. So, taking Utah, who you got?
I don't know. This one's gonna be a little difficult, just because I think that Utah. I mean, they struggle. Utah struggles just because they don't really have a defined heavy passing game. They're allowed. There's more in the run. They don't. I mean, they're in and swapping out. Freaking quarterbacks. So is the Melf Hunter 2 going to be the quarterback of their future? Is he going to be the guy leading the game? Is Cam Rising going to start this weekend? Is he going to be in there? I don't know. I mean, he was a healthy scratch this weekend. So it's like, dude, what are you guys doing? So it's kind of like, so pretty much Arizona is a more well-rounded team. I mean, they're not giving up much rushing, much passing. I mean, there's 76 overall, and the Utes. It's I don't know. I want to say the Utes, but I think Arizona maybe gives them their first loss. And Utah, it might be an upset. Yeah.
Well, Utah's been teetering. I mean, they've been teetering. I mean, OK State 3 points. I think you had another close game. So I mean, McMillan is killing me. Yeah, I mean I think he's making me look bad. I think after like first couple weeks, we're like, is this guy gonna is he gonna have like a 1,800-yard season? I mean, is this guy just gonna go ballistic here? But no, he's come back to earth and a little too much. A little bit. He's orbiting a little too much now. He needs to go back to the stratosphere. What about Michigan and Minnesota? I think it's gonna be a slobber knocker game. Michigan, I can't bet again. They beat they beat USC. USC's going to be a good team, so I can't bet against them. They're just going to find a way. They're going to run the ball, 157 times. They're just going to they're going to ground and pound like a 12-10 win or something.
Yeah, so I don't know. This one's going to be a good game. For me overall, personally, there's no way in the hell that you can pass the ball only 39 times, 39 yards and win a damn game. I mean, defense might be good, but
they might do it again.
I guess if they're going to be allowing these, if they're going to let these guys just run their wheels off, and who knows, next thing you know, we're seeing a leg on the field because that guy just ran so damn fast, he just, the leg came out of his socket, but.
Like a fucking G.I. Joe action figure or something.
So I mean, it's going to be back and forth. I mean, Michigan's only allowing 76 yards for the the rushing category, but they're giving up a lot in the passing. It's for Minnesota to win this game, they're going to have to do so. They're going to have to get creative and actually get their guys going on the outside. I mean, because they're not going to be able to outbeat these guys in the and on the ground. So I think it's gonna be a back and forth game. I don't think there's gonna be a lot of scoring unless somebody breaks out, somebody fumbles up or whatever. So it could be a defensive game more than likely. And I'm hoping Minnesota beats them for sure, because it's just gonna be a laughing stock if your quarterback cannot pass over 100 some odd yards.
Yeah, we'll see. Michigan. It's not a game I'm going to be watching. I'll just be honest. Not going to be a game I'm going to be paying attention to. This one too, I'm not going to pay attention to. Other than I might watch for Judkins because I've got him, in that parlay. I might see what he does, but Ohio State's going to smoke Michigan State. Michigan State they don't have the horses like they used to. There's no Kenneth Walker walking through the door. They don't have anybody of note. I mean, they're not statistically, they're not in the top 10 of anything or even top 20. Like Michigan State's going to get rolled.
Yeah, I was just looking at it. I mean, almost top 30 defense wise. They're not giving up a whole lot in the pass defense. Passing and rushing. They're letting maybe about 100 yards. They're in rushing, a little bit over 150 in the passing. 14th overall, but yeah, I mean, it's if Ohio State does get going, I mean, it will be a blowout. Someone was telling me that, there's a it was Donovan, I think, this morning, that Michigan State is going to upset Ohio State this weekend.
What?
Yes. So I'm like, oh. So I don't know. It might be a good game it might be a game to watch.
Oh, hell no. Donovan, we were supposed to wrap up this stream and everything was just supposed to be going downhill. You raised the
Holy fucking shit!
That's right. You raised the temperature in the room. Now I got to take these off and I got to say, you are wrong. Ohio State they're going to win. They're going to win big. It's going to be like 40, I'd say 49-10. They're going to roll them.
All right. Last game to wrap up. Louisville. And
I don't want to talk about Notre Dame unless they're like, I care about the running game for squad blitz. Like that's where I care. Riley Leonard helps with that too. I mean, he's basically he's a defective quarterback, but a great runner. Book it. Yeah, I will book it. But yeah, Riley Leonard helps a lot in the running game, and I appreciate that for squad blitz. For the rest of the team, I could give two shits about. I think Louisville's a better team overall on both sides of the ball. And I think Louisville, I don't even think it's an upset. I think Louisville is just going to beat them straight up.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. I didn't know. I just know they got a couple good guys, a couple good players on the Cardinals over there. Notre Dame, yeah, it's kind of one of those things. You know, a good matchup between 15 and 16, and and Louisville might come out on top. So
I got those whiskey glasses on here. That's maybe that's clouding my judgment.
But yeah, those are the notable games for week 5 to watch. But yeah, if you guys, I know a lot of you guys were tuning in. We appreciate everybody that was tuning in, everybody that jumped up in the comments. We appreciate everybody from Pete to Donovan to Daniel, Chris, all those guys jumped in the chat. We appreciate all you guys for jumping in the live chat tonight. Hell, if you guys got any more, next stream, maybe if you guys got some more, some questions and whatnot, even if it's just some games in general, hell, I mean, just to get our opinions. I mean, hell, we're more than welcome to just give you our thoughts and opinions, even if it comes to just waiver guys in general too. It's not a big deal.
We got waiver. There's a few guys. Dampier. There's a couple guys that we haven't even got into with waivers yet. I mean, I was saving Gio. I mean, we can't blow our load every week. We can't talk about 50 fantasy. Gio is number one. Yeah, you damn right. Anthony knows about Gio Lopez.
But yeah, we're getting pretty.
We got more in the arsenal for week 6. Just saying. Come back next Wednesday. You'll get some more goodies. There'll be probably some new waiver guys. Yeah. Donovan. Donovan's part of the family. Like I said, much love.
I am McLovin.
Yeah, I am McLovin. You damn right. We'll take the whole extended family. Pete's extended family. Chris B and his channel. Like, thank you for tuning in. Anthony's always extended family. Like, we appreciate Bubba. We saw Bubba represent tonight. Go Big Red. Yeah, you damn right. They need to get back on track. That Illinois game was they weren't destroyed or anything, but I mean, that's a crushing loss. They should have had that one.
Yeah, they should have. Yeah,
Nebraska needs to come back strong and get to 4-1 for sure.
Yep, that is correct. Still stay tuned, guys. We're in the work in progress of our college spotlights, and I haven't made the templates yet, but that's gonna be a work in progress. So stay tuned for that. We'll let you know when those do come out. But I mean, for right now, I'm planning on having them out on a Saturday. They'll just be an upload at a certain time, and I'll let you guys know when we get to that. But yeah, still the spotlights are in work in progress. So we didn't forget about them, but we want to put out there some good stuff for you guys to watch, and for this upcoming draft and stuff like that. So we don't want to put out some good and quality, maybe 30 minutes give or take in there. So. But yeah, if you're maybe if you want to be a guest for one of these, hey, for those college spotlights, you're more than welcome to reach out to me at Algorithm Fan. I know about Eli. He doesn't respond to me for like months later, so he might not be the guy you want to DM, but you can surely DM me.
You could be our third wheel any day of the week. Just contact Jay. But he'd admit in an emergency, I'm always there for him. But if it's just casually, it's sometimes it's hit and miss. So,
but yeah, other than that, we gave you guys our waivers, squad blitz, got notable guys to watch, notable games to tune into. Eli's star player of the week too, as well, and our blacklist players that we are starting to as well. Yep. So I mean, other than that, I mean, yeah, I think we got a good fine tune, and stay tuned for next Wednesday for what we have in store, and we will actually make sure the spotlights will. It might be a week or two here, but we'll start getting out some spotlights for you guys to digest and think about and whatnot. But we have a couple guys.
Yeah, and if we end up doing, I'd love to. I mean, we gotta work it out between the two of us, but I would love to try to do some kind of a last call NFL waiver show, maybe a Saturday or something. So I mean, if that's possible, we'll let you guys know as well. Because I mean, I know my brother in Florida was like, I miss your guys' NFL content, So maybe we'll try to put something together. We're loving the college stuff so far, but maybe throw a little nugget at you guys, and maybe try to do a short NFL stream or something, and just do Q&A about teams and.
Or here's the thing, or we can just go out like we used to in our gloves off and just talk about random teams that are shitty, and we just
Yeah,
about guys or and guys that to avoid, and just call it a day. And if you guys have questions, throw them up in there, and yeah, that's
go off
what we
on
call
people.
it.
I always enjoy that. I could fucking I could go off for I could go on for
So
days
there
about
we go. I mean, that's what we. I mean, maybe that'll be just the just no structure to it, and we're just
literal. This guy is trash.
there we go. But yeah, we appreciate everybody. Make sure you guys follow our social medias, Discord, Spotify, Apple, and Instagram, all those fun little places over there. We do have Facebook, but we need 100 some odd subs to even stream over there. So I've been kind of like made that as a lost cause. But maybe if you go out there, we're on Facebook at Algorithm Fantasy. Maybe you guys give us a like, follow over there. Maybe that will slowly start growing. I mean, some of the reels from Instagram do go over there. So I mean, the reels do go over there. So you guys can watch those over there too as well.
Yeah, help us get to if you help us get to a certain number, maybe we've got extra we've actually got extras of those Bucks hats. So if any of you guys like the old creamsicle, you like the flat bill hat, we actually have a couple extra. So if you guys help us get to the 100 marks, we can get streamed over there. Just talk about Brown starters. Yeah, Winston. Yeah, the whole quarterback room. DTR, Winston, that damn Deshaun Watson, ick. Just ick. Trevor Lawrence, ick. Oh, I could go on for days about all the Clemson quarterbacks. Just ick. Cade Klubnik, ick.
All right, guys. We appreciate everybody. We're gonna get up out of here. I gotta go to work.
Waivers, ick.
I gotta go to work. I gotta get some food in my belly, and we will catch you guys next Wednesday. So from Auto Rhythm, I'm Jamie. That's Eli. We'll catch you guys next Wednesday. See ya.